What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the biggest stories shaking up the hip-hop world right now. Young Thug has officially dropped a brand new track from behind the headlines, and it's called Man, I Miss My Dogs. This 7-minute song isn't just music, it's a statement, an open letter, and maybe even an olive branch to some of the biggest names in rap. From Mariah the Scientist to Drake, Future, 21 Savage, Lil Baby, and even Gucci Mane, Thugger uses this moment to address friendships, regrets, and those much-talked-about leaked prison phone calls. If you've been keeping up with the drama, you know this is the first time he's speaking so directly through his art, and fans can't stop dissecting every single bar. The leaked calls, which have been circulating online for the past couple of weeks, put young Thug in a tough spot. Pieces of private conversations started surfacing, sparking debates about loyalty, trust, and how much of an artist's personal life should really be consumed by the public. Thug acknowledged the leaks on social media and even spoke about them during a lengthy podcast interview with Big Bank. But instead of leaving it there, he chose to do what artists do best, channel the controversy into music. And with Man, I Miss My Dogs, we get to hear not just explanations, but also a window into how he's processing life after prison, relationships with peers, and his own mistakes. The first verse of the track sets the tone, and it's all about his longtime girlfriend, Mariah the Scientist. Thug pours out a heartfelt apology, saying he fears losing her to the internet and insisting that any jokes made during jail calls weren't serious. Fans see this as not just damage control, but also a vulnerable acknowledgement of how fragile relationships can become under the public spotlight. By opening with this verse, Thug shows that despite all the noise, his personal life matters most, and he's willing to own up to the hurt his words may have caused. For many listeners, that made the record feel raw and authentic right from the start. Next up, Thug directs his words toward Drake. He hints at wanting unity, especially between Drake, producer Metro Boomin, and Future, reminding us that behind-the-scenes dynamics in hip-hop are often more complex than fans realize. By saying the internet doesn't need to know everything, Thug highlights a bigger theme, the importance of keeping some aspects of brotherhood private. This line stood out because it shows he still values real-life connections over online narratives, which is something a lot of people outside the rap game can relate to. It's about keeping personal matters personal, even when fame makes that nearly impossible. The track also addresses Lil Baby, and here things get a little more tense. Thug implies that Baby hasn't been answering his calls lately, sparking speculation about where their friendship stands. Remember, the two collaborated earlier this year, so fans were surprised to hear this note of distance. Thug doesn't outright call him out, but the hint of disappointment speaks volumes. It's almost like he's using the song to ask, what happened to us? In an industry where loyalty is constantly tested, this moment feels like Thug reaching out publicly to mend a private disconnect. Then, the focus shifts to Future, another Atlanta powerhouse and longtime collaborator. Thug avoids direct confrontation here, instead keeping it subtle with lines about astrology and unspoken bonds. The message seems to be, even if they don't talk as much, the connection is still there. This softer approach contrasts with the Lil Baby verse and shows that not every relationship in question is broken. Fans who followed Thug and Future for years see this as reassurance that the bond is still alive, even if it's been tested. It's a reminder of how layered friendships in hip-hop can be, equal parts personal and professional. Toward the end of the track, Thug turns to 21 Savage and Gucci Mane. His verses here strike a balance between defense and plea, especially with the lines about not being a rat and standing by co-defendants who didn't take plea deals. This is where the prison experience hits hardest in the music, showing just how much loyalty and reputation weigh on his mind. While he avoids specifics about the ongoing case, the bars reflect a man still carrying the weight of his legal battles. It's a complex message, part apology, part affirmation of his principles, and part hope for reconciliation with peers. It's important to note that all of this comes after Thug's release in the fall of 2024, when he pleaded guilty to gang-related charges. His freedom marked the start of a new chapter, and Man I Miss My Dogs feels like an extension of that turning point. Since then, he's dropped a collaboration with Future coined Money on Money, and now, anticipation is building for his upcoming album, UY Scuti. The title itself, inspired by one of the largest stars in the known universe, hints that Thug is thinking big, aiming to make his comeback not just about recovery, but about redefining his legacy. But while Thug was making amends, the situation sparked another wave of drama. Rapper GloRilla didn't take kindly to hearing her name mentioned in leaked audio where Thug allegedly made less than flattering comments. Even though he apologized and blamed the remarks on the stress of prison life, GloRilla decided to clap back with a diss track of her own. The record takes aim at both Thug and Mariah the Scientist, lacing insults with sharp wordplay. It's a reminder that in hip-hop, even apologies can spark more fire, and rivalries often turn into fuel for music that fans eagerly consume. So where does this leave young Thug today? On one hand, Man I Miss My Dogs shows him reflecting deeply on relationships, mistakes, and the meaning of loyalty. On the other, it's clear that not everyone is ready to forgive or forget. For fans, though, the track provides something real, an unfiltered look at an artist navigating one of the toughest chapters of his career. Whether or not bridges get rebuilt with Drake, Lil Baby, Future, 21 Savage, or Gucci Mane, one thing's certain: Thug is using his art to tell his truth. And as his upcoming album approaches, the world will be watching to see just how far this redemption arc can go.